Hey guys, Commander Casual here. We are playing our Belbe 666, or rather, our Belbe 6 neutral mana drops deck. So we got lots of 6 drops and stuff like this, like Ward of Bones that we're trying to cheat out on turn 2. I'm really hunting for like the nuts draw. I got it in one game that lasted about 10 minutes because like 2 people left right away, which is really frustrating. So I'm not going to post that recording because it isn't much of a game. I have to mulligan down to 6 again. And we've got a Shepherd of Rot, and we've got enough mana to get there, but we don't really have the nuts draw, unfortunately. Maybe if we draw like one of our 1 mana guys on our first turn and a forest on our second turn, we can get there, but it's not looking too good, unfortunately. But we shouldn't really be, yes, we didn't get it. Shouldn't really be too delayed or anything like that. But we do need green mana, but at least we have lands. So can't really look a gift horse in the mouth, I guess. So the commanders we're playing up against are Padim, Console of Innovation. So he's a 4-drop, 1/4 Vidocan Artificer. Artifacts you control have hexproof. At the beginning of your upkeep, if you control the artifact of the highest converted mana cost or tied for the highest converted mana cost, draw a card. So obviously this is going to be, like artifact combo kind of stuff. Started off with an island and a mana crypt into a chaos wand. So I'm not feeling particularly good about this deck. Mana Crypt generally points to kind of a more competitive player, and the comment on this lobby was supposed to be power level 6 to 7, so we'll see how that turns out. The second commander we're playing against is Omnath, Locus of Creation. So the newer Omnath, 4-drop, 4/4. When he enters the battlefield, you draw a card. Because the rest of the ability isn't nuts enough, apparently. You still have to get to draw a card with him. His landfall abilities, whenever land enters the battlefield under your control, you gain 4 if this is the first time. If it's the second, you instead add red, green, white, blue to your mana pool. And if it's the third time, he deals 4 damage to each opponent and each planeswalker you don't control. So at least it caps off at 3. Oh, sweet. So we're doing well because we got our green source at least. So we're still going to play Shepherd of Rot first. So we can tap him on our next turn with Belbe out, and then we can drop like Ward of Bones or something to screw with people. So, because Ward of Bones is like, it's a fun way to stop people from getting ahead of you. It's a bit of a tax spell, which people feel differently about, but that's what we're going with. So that's Omnath. This is going to be like a landfall deck, I'm sure. It might have some elemental tribal kind of stuff going on, but I doubt it. Then we've got Orvar, the All Form, so one of the new Kaldheim commanders. He's a changeling, a shapeshifter. When you cast an instant or sorcery spell, if it targets one or more other permanents you control, you create a token that's a copy of those permanents. So you kind of double up on stuff. And whenever a spell or ability an opponent controls causes you to discard this card, create a token that's a copy of target permanent. So the second part's not really that relevant if he's in the command zone. But it just makes him a better card for all-around play. And he's also a 4-mana 3/3. And he has changeling, so he's every creature type. So this could be some kind of interesting tribal deck. It could be like Shapeshifter tribal. It could be Merfolk tribal. Who knows? You can basically do like any kind of mono blue tribal with this guy because he's a changeling. But I'm interested to see how the copying thing goes. So it's probably going to have a lot of instants and sorcery spells that are really cheap that target permanents to try to copy those permanents. Yep, so we're seeing the landfall theme coming in with Scute Swarm already on this guy. This card's pretty nuts in a landfall deck because you get up to that 6 lands really quick. So it has landfall. When a land enters the battlefield, you get to make a 1/1 insect. If you have 6 or more lands, instead the insect is a copy of Scute Swarm, and then every land after that, you get like. Then you get, it's exponential, right? So you play a land, you get 2 Scute Swarms. Then you play a land and you get 2 more. So you have 4 and then 8 and then 16. So this card goes nuts really fast. Just going to play a Swamp. Got to play Belbe on our pre-combat main. We got a Decree of Pain. So if this starts to go nuts, we're okay with that. We're feeling good about it. So this is going to deal 2 damage to everybody because Belbe is also a zombie. Shepherd of Rot just taps and deals damage to every player, so us included, for the number of zombies in the battlefield. Always yield to Belbe's ability. And we're going to play a Ward of Bones. So this guy can't play any more artifacts because then he already has more artifacts than we do. It might limit this guy's land placement a little bit, but I mean, any spell that like puts something onto the battlefield will get around it. Maybe this guy has like a Pact of Negation or Force of Will in his hand and he's waffling over it. If he's running Mana Crypt, it's not. Oh, Fierce Guardianship. Okay, the other one, the commander specific one. So this guy's definitely, like, this card is not cheap. So, actually, I don't know how much it is on MTGO, but in paper, it's like $50. So, we'll see. I'm not terribly optimistic, but we'll see. What is this? Did he suspend this before and I didn't notice? Mox Tantalite. I actually don't know what this card is. So it's just like a Mox Opal, but you suspend it. You have to suspend it. Okay. I don't like the look of this deck. Not liking it at all. But I'll reserve my judgments until it either proves me right or wrong, I suppose. I don't know. Anytime it's mono blue, so like I'm not surprised there's a counterspell in it. But especially like that's the commander counterspell. Like it's built for commander. It says commander in it. So Fierce Guardianship, for those who don't know, it's part of the cycle where if you control your commander, you can cast it for free, but you just get to counter an on-target creature spell. And it's easily the best card of the cycle. I think I missed this guy playing a Nyx Lotus. So it enters tapped, but you can choose a color and add an amount of that color equal to your devotion to that color. So really good in any monocolored deck. And I think pretty reasonable for like a 4-mana artifact. Like right now it's actually not giving him anything, so he needs to play some kind of blue permanent first. Let's see, Chaos Wanding. Target opponent exiles cards at the top of their library until they exile an instant or sorcery card. You may cast that card without paying its mana cost. Gross. So you got to cultivate from the green deck, which I'm sure is what he was aiming for, with some kind of ramp spell, because it's a landfall deck. So Chaos Wand's a cool card. Okay, so this is definitely the deck to look out for. Until this deck really starts going off. But we're looking like it is because he just played a Marsh Flats. So he's going to start getting bugs. And then once he has enough lands, he's going to get more Skewed Swarms. Well, I'm bummed our Ward of Bones is dead, but we have Decree, so like ultimately I'm not that stressed. But who knows, it might get countered because this blue guy, it's like when you see like commander players that like leave their mana up on everybody else's turn and like play blue heavy decks or like mono blue. It's kind of like, I feel like you were a Modern player, especially if their budget's high. It's like, I feel like you were a Modern player and you decided to wade into the commander pool, and you know, like they build their commander deck like they like to build their control Modern decks. So it just comes off as kind of like spiky because that's just not necessarily like the commander feel. I don't know. We'll see if all these decks end up being like a 6-7 power level. I rate this as kind of like a 6 with the potential to be like a 7 or an 8. If we get like the nuts start, but we didn't get the nuts start. We got a good start, but we didn't get a nuts start. Halimar Depths. Enters the battlefield, look at the top 3 cards of your library, then put them back in any order. Maybe I should put one of those in my Paco and Halden deck, just for a little bit more library manipulation. I saw a comment from somebody the other day saying to put a what is it, Divining Top and like Brainstorm in there, which are great suggestions because obviously they rely on the top of the library, but you don't really need a lot of like library manipulation in that deck because it's no creatures, so you're always going to hit something you want. It still has this value, and I definitely throw Brainstorm in there, but I probably wouldn't throw the top in just because I don't really agree with playing Divining Top and Commander. Like, it's a good card. I'm not saying it doesn't have its uses, but it just slows the game down so much because it's always just sitting there untapped, and it just causes so many extra like moments where you have to like skip through your turn or skip through like phases and stuff like that of other people's turns. So I don't love it, but I mean, if you want to play it, you go for it. But I generally don't. I don't even have it in my library, so. Pulse Tracker. Don't quite have enough mana to Bestiary and Pulse Tracker and draw. We have enough mana for both of those, but which I think is what we'll do. Actually, wait. I think we do if we play him post. Yeah. Yeah. So we'll do this. Everybody loses too. So we'll get our 6 mana. We can play Lifecrafter's Bestiary with that. Yeah, we're not attacking. And then we can play Pulse Tracker and draw a card with Pulse Tracker. And maybe we'll draw something we can play with our excess mana. Yes, sir. We're gonna pay. Draw Prophetic Prism. Sure, we can play that. Prophetic Prism is just in here to change one of those neutral mana into colored in case we have like something that we need the colored mana for. But it also draws this card, so why not? We're getting deeper in our library. Yeah, we'll yield to that. Ooh, and we actually got something we can use. Dope. So we'll Demonic Tutor. This is making us look like some kind of stormy deck, but that's really not what we're going for. Alright, what do we want? Could slow everybody down with God Pharaoh statue. That's always fun for me. Conduit of Ruin is good and then gives us another thing later. But Immortal Sun just is like Staff of Nin, but with more stuff. I kind of want something that draws us cards. Like Staff of Nin or Immortal Sun. Tough call. Is there anything we need to remove right now? I don't think so. Got a lot of swamps. I could grab a Caged Sun. That doesn't draw us cards, though. Decree of Pain will. Choices. I think I'll just go with Immortal Sun. It's a good card. We turned our black into green. And then we'll pass. Did this guy really quit? Why did he concede? That kind of messes with us because now we have way less mana. What a poor sport. That's so disappointing that he quit. Ha! Guy lost his flip, took damage from Mana Crypt. Like, I don't even think I took that long to search there. Oh, whatever. Unfortunately, that's kind of one of the major... Like, MTGO is great because you get to play with people all over the place, and you can kind of play Magic on demand without having to organize, like, a play group or go to your local game store or whatever, which is especially useful right now. But unfortunately, like when you play anything like this online, you don't really create like the social contract, like the unspoken social contract you would with people that you'd be seeing in person. You know, like you wouldn't just like randomly like get up and leave like a paper game, or at least I don't think I would, or anybody I play with in paper would just randomly do that. I mean, we're all friends, so maybe it's a little different if you're at your local game store, or you're playing with like a bunch of people you don't know. Have fun drawing a card and giving something flying. Leave. Yeah, this guy's probably got a whole bunch of goofy, cheap little instants and sorceries just to trigger Orvar's ability as much as possible. That's super funny. This guy paid 4 mana to give Padim flying and draw a card. That's pretty good. Yeah, I'm definitely the target with like instants and sorceries. I'm surprised he didn't do that to me. I've got stuff like, I mean, he doesn't know I have a Decree of Pain, but he does know I've had a Demonic Tutor. So I would guess that all this guy's instants and sorceries are goofy little cards like this. And then looks like everything else is probably enter the battlefield effects. So he can make the copies and kind of double up on those effects. I really like that art of Augur Bolus. The War of the Spark one's really cool. I mean, like, the other one's cool too, but the War of the Spark one looks cooler, I think. I think the other one is just like a merfolk dude holding a staff that has Bolus's horns on the top of it. Yeah, like Moonlace. That's one of those weird instant sorceries that just target at things that can double up. This is cool. I might have to build an Orvar deck. And now his original Augur of Bolus is devoid. Target spell or permanent becomes colorless. And it's permanent too, that's interesting. Those 3 still count towards his devotion though. I think tokens count towards your devotion. If they're like a copy, I think it counts for the devotion, but I'm not honestly sure. So who knows? What are we doing here, guy? So you got an Argent mutation. Another weird one. But yeah, another cheap instant sorcery that targets a thing and draws a card. Yeah, so you just run all these kind of cantrip style effects and double up on all your dudes for extra enter the battlefield triggers. Seems like a really cool deck. Okay, so we get to scry. We like Meteor Golem, I think. He's just removal. So we've got 4 mana plus 4 will be 8. So we can Immortal Sun, but we can't really do anything else. I guess we have 9. Okay, well, we'll Shepherd. Like, do we Meteor Golem and draw instead next? This. And what do we destroy? I think we'd have to get rid of the Mystifying Maze, because this effect is just gonna mess us up. Although I'm a little worried about this guy going off. So we could destroy his Nyx Lotus. Because he could double up his Nyx Lotus, because this is any permanent, right? Non-land permanent. Okay, so maybe we just destroy Orvar? I think we have to. I'm not trying to be a jerk or anything, but... Okay, so we get 2 mana. Or 4 mana, sorry, 2 from each. Here we Meteor Golem, and we draw a card. Rankle, nice. And I think we destroy Orvar, just because he has so much potential to combo off with that. I don't trust it. Especially because he's got like 5 cards in hand. Counter? Or is he's copying Orvar? Okay. That's interesting. I didn't even think of that. Then he's gonna legendary roll and keep the copy. That's interesting. Well, whatever. Just the way it goes, I guess. Mana Crypt and a Mox Tandalite. That removes the counter. Does he get it yet? Yeah, so he gets to cast this. And it gets a haste. Neato. Haste on a non-creature artifact. It just taps for 1 extra mana. I mean, at least the game's moving forward because I'm pinging everybody with Shepherd, but... Pulse Tracker is another one of like our little dork guys that just deals damage to each of our opponents when he attacks. At least when we play like a Mortal Sun, we'll actually have like an attacker out of Meteor Golem. And we can attack Padim with Pulse Tracker. Or we can just play Rankle. I mean, I guess we'll play Rankle pre-combat. And we can start... I mean, he's got flying in haste, so we can fly over these guys and start whacking people. He can also be a source of triggering if we want. Because you can make everybody lose a life and draw a card. I don't think I want... I don't know if I want to do that. Maybe I'll just attack and make everybody sacrifice a creature. Get rid of Pulse Tracker. So when he deals combat damage, yeah. Okay, so he doesn't have enough mana up to Mystifying Maze now. Oh, no. So he's going to write a replication by Meteor Golem. I'm going to let you know, Mezzy, that almost all my spells are cantrips and probably not worth your time. Yeah, pretty expected. This is problematic, though. He's going to get 5 Meteor Golems. So he also gets... He gets 5 3/3s, and then he just... Okay. Why? So it really bugs me when people do this, is when somebody gets, like, the upper hand towards the end of the game. And then, like, there's 2 of you, or 3 of you, and somebody quits. Because now, like, what was a manageable situation is now not. Because 5 destroy triggers is, 3 or 2 if he divides them evenly, or like 5 and 0 if not. But now it has to be a 5 and 0. He kept my Meteor Golem. How nice of him. Yeah, we'll put Belbe in the command zone. Okay, so now we have a bit of a problem, because without Belbe we can't Decree of Pain, which would help us deal with this, so... And we didn't get a land draw, so we can't Immortal Sun. We can Rankle and sacrifice. Do we Rankle to try to draw? I don't want to draw him a card, but we need to find answers, and we don't have lands, so guess that's what we're doing. Yeah, it's super disappointing that this guy left because now, obviously, I got 5-0'd with all those destroy triggers rather than it be split between the two of us. This game was not over, even close. But people just give up like that. Well, we got to land at least. But our commander casts 4 to play now, so we can't cast her. And cycling this only gives -2/-2 to everything, so it's not going to hit any of those guys. I'll just leave the mana up to fake him out a little bit. Oh, that's really disappointing. That's why you stick it out. Two unnecessary scoops in the same game is so disappointing. Just have a little mental resilience in this game and just decide that you're not always just gonna have the easiest game and win the whole time. Because the game wouldn't be fun if you didn't if it wasn't a challenge at some point. Ugh. Just grinds my gears, you know? Yeah, figured that was coming. So we'll trade a Meteor Golem. Because why not? But we're still taking 12 here, which doesn't feel very good. We still got the life, so... Mesmeric Orb. Whenever a permanent comes in tapped, that permanent's controller mills a card. What's he gonna get? Regrowth. Do you have to cast it? You may cast, darn. That's a good card for him, too. Oh, I targeted Rite of Replication. Go away. He's gonna copy Meteor Golem again. And hit me with 5 Meteor Golems. See, this is the issue, because now the game is truly unwinnable for me. Because if he'll get another 5 3/3s, and then he'll get destroy another 5 of my non-land permanents. Oh, cool! Rise of the Dark Realms. That's super helpful right now. We have 6 mana, and not enough for anything. We'll attack with Rankle and just see if we draw anything. I'm not optimistic, but we'll give it a chance. So everybody loses life and draws a card. Archetype of Endurance. Yep, that's not going to do it. That's game by the looks of it. And he's got a thing, too. Right on. Shimmer Mirror, I guess. Well, I'll let him attack for the win, provided he's not a wiener about it. So he mills a whole bunch of cards because of Mesmeric Orb. bunch of islands by the looks of it. Let's see if his deck's trying to do something weird. Spellbook. Oh. Jace Wielder of Mysteries is often comboed with trying to like mill yourself out. It's running Mana Drain. Come on, dude. Get out of here. Oh. Into the turn. Vidoc and Archmage. Yep. Yeah, and we saw the Fierce Guardianship. Yeah, I mean, like, this Mana Drain isn't even, like, terribly expensive on MTGO, but I still don't think I'd run it. It's just, it's a nasty card, you know? It's like, oh, hey, counterspell, but also I get a ton of mana next turn, too. It's like, oh, okay, that seems pretty fair, I guess. Oh, he got a Rankle? Just a single Rankle? I mean, I don't even have enough permanence for him to ball out with Meteor Golem, and he probably wanted the haste, so. I mean, we could. I was going to turn off my yields and cycle Decree of Pain to kill his mirror, but it doesn't change anything. Yeah, we'll give him the thing, because he stayed. GG, my guy. Okay, well, thanks for watching, guys. Unfortunately, we didn't quite go off, but I think, you know, this would have been a much more interesting game if people had stayed, so it's a little disappointing they didn't. But thanks for watching. If you have any suggestions on commanders you want me to run, cards you want me to run, decks you want me to build, weird, stupid combos, synergies, whatever you want me to force, I'm down to do it. Just leave a comment on the video. Really helps out if you like and subscribe as well. Have a good one.